Yo, what's up? JRod's back for another edition of Hallpass. This is kind of a sad edition of Hallpass. This is my 9/11 story, my experience on 9/11. This isn't like a historical thing. This is just my experience on the morning of September 11th, 2001. I'm going to start by saying that about 18 months prior, I was in those buildings. I met my wife at the time at the Windows on the World, which was on the, I think, 107th floor of the North Tower. And it was brilliant because it looked right at the Empire State Building. And on the back side of the building, you look right at the Statue of Liberty. And the Statue of Liberty that from there would look like it was this big. It was really amazing how tall these two buildings were. And one of the things that I've noticed just in teaching 9/11, showing videos of 9/11, watching 9, doing research on the attacks and on those buildings, the one thing that I've noticed is that the video of those buildings, both inside and out, don't really do them justice as to how big they actually were. They were unbelievably ginormous to the point where estimates show that there was more or as much um, office space in those two buildings combined than in Portland, Oregon, with all the buildings combined in Portland, Oregon. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have seen reports that that's about the same amount or as much, office space. It's kind of crazy. And my experience. So I was working as an outside sales rep for a company, small company, and we had sales meetings every Tuesday. And I remember leaving on Monday, the 10th, and my boss yells out, "Hey, don't be late for the sales meeting tomorrow," which I wasn't late, but he did say that. And so I got up extra early. Now, the baby, we had about a 9-month-old baby, and he was a little fussy. So we had him sleeping with us that night. And my wife at the time was, she'd been up some of the night feeding the baby and that. So I wanted to be quiet. So I was like, being quiet. I took a shower. I got up early, took a shower. And then I get out of the shower and the phone rings, blast through the silence of the morning. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't want to wake up the baby or my wife. So I ran over to the phone. There's a landline, grab it. I'm like, hello, quiet, And my sister, who lives in the Bay Area at the time, screaming and crying on the other end, says, they're attacking us. And I'm like, who's attacking you? Is there some girlfriend you're having a fight with? And she goes, no, they're attacking us. Turn on the television. And so I hung up the phone or turned on the television, quickly muted it so it didn't, I'd already been worried about the ringing of the phone. And I'm looking in complete disbelief and horror as the North Tower is smoking. And all of a sudden, right then, the South Tower explodes. Obviously, I've seen very many replays of the United 175 coming on the backside, but I didn't see that live. I didn't see the airplane. I saw the explosion of the South Tower exploding. I'm like, I can't even wrap my brain about what I'm seeing, And so I just sit there and like, I can't, So I'm late to the sales meeting and he held it. Everybody was there except for me. And he's like, why are you late? And I go, well, hey, do you even know what's going on right now? He goes, oh, yeah, that's in New York. You're fine. I want you to do your, go see your clients today. Try to sell them. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I want you to be out there. So I'm like, okay. Well, this was before satellite radio. This was before smartphones. We had cell phones, but they were just functional to call. I don't even think they were functional to text yet. And this was also before, the internet took off. It was just a little bit of dial up, and that was it. So I go see my first client of the morning. They were feeling, I walked in, they were feeling exactly like I was. They were crying. They were sad, heartbroken, sorrow. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't going to start with a sales pitch. So then I decided to go see another client. My boss told me, hey, I need you to sell today. Okay. So I went to another client. Same thing. And by the way, I was feeling what they were feeling too. I was feeling stupid for trying to sell on that day. So after leaving the second client, I decide I'm trying to get local radio. I'm trying to get all the information I can. So I decided to go home and turn on cable news. That's the best way I could get information. So I did. And I knew that I had to go back to the office in the afternoon because that was the standard. I would do some paperwork in the morning, leave for 5-6 hours to sell, to go, outside sell. And then in the late afternoon, I would show up to kind of check out and then leave. So I'm trying to find all this information I can find, and I'm just feeling sorrow and sadness. And the one kind of interesting thing is that everybody on my block and down the next block put out a American flag. That was kind of cool. And then I could look down. We have a convention center in town, and they turn on these massive lights to symbolize the two towers, and they just shot them into space. So they had them on all night. You could see them from anywhere in the city. Pretty amazing. So I drive back to the office, and this is where I realize that some humans can be disgusting. It was the building, the office was long and narrow. My office was right when you walk in the door. My boss's office was at the far end. So I opened the door, turn and walk towards my office, and I look down and I see my boss and several other of my colleagues yucking it up and high-fiving, laughing and having a great time. And I'm like, whoa, this is different than anything I've seen today. So I walk down there and I say, hey, what's going on? Why are you so happy? And he goes, check this out. He goes, our competitors had offices in the World Trade Centers and their stock's going to go down. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, isn't that awesome? I go, no. And in that moment, that dude became subhuman to me. That dude was someone I didn't want to work for. I realized at that moment, I had a little baby at home. I couldn't just quit, but I was going to figure out how to get myself out of that company because I didn't want to work for that guy who was celebrating and cheering the death of thousands of people. And I had the full client list. And I was so tempted to give that client list to his competitors, but I was going to turn the other cheek, be a better person, and I didn't. But I realized that some people can completely lose their humanity. And that's terrible. And if you have people near you that have lost their humanity, you need to get away from them. Because if it becomes you or them, it's going to be them. They will sell you out in a heartbeat if they're cheering on the death of thousands of people. What are they going to think of you? Anyway, that's my 9/11 experience. Thank you for listening to Hallpass episode 9/11. Would you please like and share this with anybody that has experienced any loss in their life? Anyone that can learn anything from this? Anybody that's been to New York? Anybody that's heard of 9/11? Please share it with them. Thank you for listening.